Well, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is our business conversation with independent Nikken consultants, myself, Maggie McKee from the west coast of Canada, British Columbia, Vancouver, and Madeline Zaworski. Where are you from, Madeline?
Lorain, Ohio, west of Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, and Michele Kowalchuk. Where are you from?
I am from Dauphin, Manitoba.
Okay, so we're pretty much across 3 time zones here, and very happy to be sharing this with you this evening. Now, we're a little biased because we've been Nikken consultants quite a few years, each of us. There's a lot of shared experience on this call. So what we want to do today is explain to you about the Nikken choice, why we've made that Nikken choice, and why we believe that it's something very, very worth your while to check out and see if this is a fit for you. And about the business, which we call collaborative entrepreneurship. You've probably already been able to see the products or hear stories about the products if you're on this business call. So we're assuming that you know that a bit about the wellness home. We will be touching on that a little bit, but mostly we're going to be talking about how you can benefit from what we've been doing for the last, well, I've been 21 years. Madeline, how about you?
18.
And you, Michele?
18 years.
15.
Okay.
Just over 15.
Okay. So there's a lot of experience here. I had a coffee with a gal yesterday, and when I told her how long I'd been in the business, she said, "Wow, is that unusual?" I said, "Maybe in this industry, but not in our company, because we do have something I think that other companies haven't really created to the same depth we have. We're a Japanese company. Started in 1975 in Fukuoka, Japan, so it's 42 years old, and it was originally developed on this philosophy that you're seeing on the screen now, and every decision Nikken makes is based on this holistic approach to life, and business is part of life, so we include that in the 5 pillars of health. When I was introduced a little more than 21 years ago, I had been in chronic pain for 30 years, and I'll tell you, that is not fun. It affected everything in my life. It affected my ability to be a best mom. It certainly affected my ability to be the best professor. I had a tenured professorship at a college, and it just took so much energy to hurt. I was doing a lot of volunteer work, but I still didn't have the energy to do the best job. Luckily for me at the time, I had a career that had good benefits and a decent salary. Otherwise, my finances would have been very much affected as well. But the thing that was affected the most was my mind, because I don't know how many of you have ever had pain, or especially chronic pain. It really plays on your mind. At least it did on mine. I had a hard time being up, and people could tell when because it wasn't really real. I had to force the energy to be really positive because I didn't feel great. So this whole living a life in balance, when my friend who is a healthcare professional introduced me to it, I was just so focused on the body pillar. I just wanted to feel better. But she did show me the whole picture, and I'm really glad, because something clicked for me. I felt a resonance with this concept of living a life in balance, because I had been developing curriculum based on the whole student, not just on the subject. So this was, in the 1990s, and it was kind of a new thing in education. So when I saw this, I went, wow, if there's a business that has the same values that I have, that believes that we can have a balanced life and have time and quality in each of these areas, I want to know more. So very quickly, I got rid of the 30 years of chronic pain, and I started to share this business and these technologies with people that were interested, and built such a good, strong foundation that within 3 years, I was able to walk into the president's office and say, I quit, because this was bringing me more joy and more income and more balance than I could ever have in my career. So that's how I got started. And so let's hear, Madeline, what happened for you? How did you get introduced? You're a nurse with more degrees than a thermometer. So what got you introduced to Nikken?
Well, you're right, and I had a wonderful corporate position. I was the vice president of nursing of the healthcare system for 17 years that included 2 hospitals. And the last 18 months of my 17-year tenure was consolidating the 2 hospitals, laying off about 300 people, And then at the end of that, once the one hospital was closed, I was right-sized or downsized. And little did I think that would ever happen. Usually doesn't happen to a nurse. And at the time, because of all the credentials and my age, too expensive, too many degrees. So almost weeks after my outplacement, one of my former assistant directors who had an amazing product experience, she had a cardiac ejection fraction that went from a pumping function of 25% to almost 50%. She kept calling me for 2 years, called me right away and said, now Madeline, because she knew that I had a master's in cardiac nursing and she knew I loved teaching. So she told me her story, her clinical story, and then said there's a wonderful business opportunity. Well, when she told me what the products were, I, first of all, didn't believe the story, with the master's in cardiac nursing. Jerry, how could magnetic insoles and a mattress pad make this difference? But she was persistent, Maggie. She called over a 2-year period, sent me, she lived about 35 miles away. She worked in the Cleveland area, and sent audio cassette tapes. We didn't have this platform and this technology at that time. And the old VHS, I was married to a physician. She sent a doctor's panel. Well, they collected in a bag under this desk, actually, that I'm sitting at. And I never looked at or listened to one of them. I had a nice consulting job, and then my marriage had some challenges. And I was just so out of balance. The last thing I wanted to hear about was Jerry's wonderful opportunity. But each time she called, I could hear a difference in her voice, and she was healthier and said, Madeline, you need to look at this. Well, after 2 years, I said to her, Jerry, I'll meet you halfway between Cleveland and home, hand back these tapes, we'll have lunch, and I don't want to hear about the opportunity. And when I saw her, I could not believe it. I had known her from 1966, and at this point in time, it was 1998, so that's a long time. She looked better than she had in the last 25 years. So, fast forward, I took the bag of tapes home. I purchased a pair of insoles retail and had an immediate product experience. And when I got home, my then husband was home and wanted a pair of insoles because of golfing, and he knew about magnetic insoles and what it did to golfers. And he said, Madeline, you would be good at this. And I said, how do you know what this is? Well, he had looked at the information because, of course, he had an exit plan and thought this would be wonderful for me. When I saw Healthy Family, and he thought it was a good idea, and he had a good product experience, I had a very strong motivation and a very strong why. I thought if I had a family business, and actually his brother, sister-in-law, my stepchildren, whatever, we're all involved in this business, that maybe Dan would stay home. So one of the tips about building a business is to have a strong why, to be motivated, to be focused in on, and there was an incentive for a trip to Japan, an international convention. And Maggie, in that first summer, I almost made gold in 3 months. I went from silver to 2 silvers direct to me. Actually, when I was coming home in the 5th month from the international convention in Japan, I was a gold. It happened on my trip home. So it was a very exciting time. I caught a vision at that international meeting. I knew then that I was out of balance. And actually, when I met with Jerry to get the membership and to get set up, she showed me another version of this 5 pillars of health. And when I looked at it, I started crying. She didn't know about what was happening in my personal life. And she said, what's wrong? And I said, well, all that I said was, Jerry, I'm out of balance in family and mind, and it's affecting my body. And I've actually been teaching continuing ed for nurses, body, mind balance, in this 2 years since my outplacement. And I said, I just can't believe this. And I said, why didn't you tell me this sooner? So she shared her personal product story and a business opportunity, but I never saw the balance wheel until the day that I signed that membership to become a member. So truly, my motivation was to improve Healthy Family, to bring balance into my life. When I heard it was an opportunity to build teams, provide a plan B instead of downsize and lay off 300 people. For me, it was just like I couldn't believe what it was. And then at that trip to Japan, truly catching a global vision of what the world would be like if we had so many families and so many Plan B opportunities. And so I very quickly started, I had a 90-day launch in those first 90 days. And the first several years was absolutely wonderful. And I'll come back a little bit later. I'm sure that you'll have some other slides to cover here and say what happened then, where I am today, 18 years later.
For sure. So thanks so much, Madeline. And let's go now to Dauphin, Manitoba. And let's find out how Michele was introduced to Nikken, because we all have a different story. So Michele, can you pipe in now?
Yes, thank you, Maggie, for asking me, and I'd love to share. I was attracted to Nikken because of a product experience. When Nikken found me, I was very disabled with head discomfort, taking lots of medication, over-the-counter pills. We were buying a bottle of Tylenol every 2 weeks, and I was the one consuming them, not to mention the prescription drugs. So I was overdosing on a lot of drugs to deal with the pain that I was in. And it was one of my customers at the bank that offered me a magnetic necklace, and I totally thought he was crazy. I thought he was out of his mind. I was very heavily drugged, but one of the girls that I worked with encouraged me to give it a try. And when I did, within a week, my youngest daughter had begged me to please buy the necklace because she noticed a big difference in my demeanor. I took her advice and I did purchase the necklace. Within three months, I was completely drug-free. But in between that time, the business opportunity was offered to me, and I accepted it with both hands up. Don't even talk to me about it, was my response. I was not interested. And it wasn't until a fellow by the name of Marty Jeffrey came into Dauphin and did a business presentation, and my husband and I were in attendance. And when we walked out of that presentation, Larry said to me, we need to have a look at this business opportunity and what this is all about. And when I realized what it was all about, I was very, very impressed. And when I realized the power of these products, how it can not only help me, but help others too, that's very impressive. And when I realized that I could actually make money at just telling people about these products and offering help, offering hope, and offering a solution to their needs, that was very, very empowering for me.
Because that just sounds like that was pretty organic for you. It didn't feel like it was out of your comfort zone to help people, right?
Absolutely not. That has been my passion my whole life, is to help people. And how cool is it to help people get better and get balance than in the business that I was in and helping them get in debt?
Okay.
That's a good one, Michele. Yes.
Okay, so let's just move on here a bit, and we'll come back to some more of the personal experiences. And you know, when I was teaching at the college, one of the things that I taught about was how stress affects our lives. And there were lots of studies showing that the main cause of illness is stress. And you can read all the lists there. There's just so many stressors in our modern world. And I think it's become more and more complex over the last 20 years since I've been involved. And so many people are just struggling. So the quality of life is proportionate to the quality of our emotions, and our emotions, our mind, is totally affected by stress. These are some of the financial stressors that most people have either experienced themselves or they know people who have. You know, when you were downsized, Madeline, I'm sure that was a bit of a concern in terms of the ongoing income. You know, for me, I thought if I can't continue to work, if my job ends, my income ends. So there's all kinds of things like that. And in Canada, we are very fortunate to have socialized medicine. So our healthcare costs are very minimal compared to what you face in the United States. And I know that in the United States, a lot of bankruptcies are connected to healthcare costs. I look at, you know, my kids now who are in their late 30s, early 40s, and they have a different attitude about money. Uh, they don't seem to be as concerned about debt as I was growing up. My parents were cash always. You know, we paid for things. We didn't have credit cards. But now it's become so easy to accumulate debt. I think it's created a bit of a nightmare. And you add on top of that the student loans and so on, and the cost of living just keeps going up. It doesn't seem to be getting better anywhere in the world. And then you look at, you know, the things on this list. So it goes on and on in terms of the stress that we're under that puts not just stress on the finances, but this is, you know, the family stress. You know, research shows that money is one of the biggest stressors in a relationship, and that if people just had as much as $300 to $500 more a month, there would be a lot of relief. To say nothing about, you know, when we offer products that give us an active wellness lifestyle where we get to choose our health and our wellness, not leave it to chance. That's pretty powerful. So what do we do? Well, you know, we know the world situation, and we've made our decision. Our purpose is to help others choose what we've already chosen and live that life in balance that we're all creating every day. And you alluded to this, Madeline, if every home were a wellness home, my goodness. I mean, just look at us, you know, off medications, feeling good, getting older but feeling younger, having the vitality. And then for me, the big piece is having the time to spend with my family, with my children and my grandchildren. So if every home were a wellness home, we would have a very different economy. We would have a very different lifestyle, a very different way of being in the world. So it's a simple business. Like you said, Michele, we share this with people because we care. And most people don't want the franchise with their fries. Not everybody wants to have a home career like we do. However, our customers are golden. We really support our customers. And those who want to join the team, as I'll show you on the next slide, we create a team. And the thing I love about the team that I've created and that I'm now connected to other teams like your team, Michele, and your team, Madeline, because we're in different organizations, is the like-mindedness. I think that people are craving a sense of community. When we get together at some of the Nikken gatherings, like in Japan, and all over the United States, it really feels like a family reunion, and a pretty functional family, actually. So it's kind of nice to be part of that. So let's look at the business plan, because people are on this call to see what, you know, how do you do this? Like, we know why we do it. The three of us know why we do it. And everybody will have their own passionate why. If they want to build a business, you have to have passion. You have to have a burning desire. So we have a proven process that works, and any franchise has a business in a box. Basically, we have the same thing, but we've simplified it down even more because it has to be simple for people who are usually still working full-time when they start this enterprise. So the first thing to do is, like we all did, we joined Nikken as a customer. We have to kick the tires on the products and experience how they can help us. And then we can share that story, just like we share the whole idea if we go to a good movie or we read a good book. I'm always talking about the latest and greatest movie or book that I've read because it's easy to do that. I've enjoyed it. I want other people to have the option of knowing about it. So once we become part of the Nikken family in terms of being a consultant, we get to share and promote these technologies and the business and the cause. I think that's the thing that's different about us too. We have this worldwide cause, this belief that humans have the right to be more, that humans working together can be more. So humans being more is our tagline. So that's something that people, I think, as the world kind of moves into more stress, there are more and more people looking for a vision and a cause. So we connect people to the part of Nikken that appeals to them. They want the products. We just show them how to order their products. They get their own website. Products are shipped directly to them. We don't have to deal with money or products because that's Nikken's job, which I love. No need for inventory. I have a complete wellness home, as I know the two of you do, but that's an option. I really highly recommend that for people because the sleep, air, water, nutrition, and light are so essential to keeping ourselves healthy so we can be, you know, the poster children, if you like, for this business. But we don't have to have that inventory. We just have whatever products we want. And then Nikken has many ways of saying thank you. So we're going to look at some of those in a minute. But as I said, it has to be a simple process. It's about collaborating and sharing. And first of all, we start with ourselves. We have a product experience, and if we decide we want to share this, we have a simple upgrade to becoming a consultant. And the first thing we teach people is to create a business unit that has 500 points, 500 US dollars in sales on a regular basis each month going through their business. Once they've done that, then they can teach that to other people. So in the meantime, sorry about that, they are gathering customers who are interested in the products, and some of those customers will want to upgrade like we did. So that's an organic way to develop our team, to create our business partners. So it's not ever about pushing anybody, it's about finding people that are interested and showing them what is possible and letting them choose whatever steps work for them. So now we're going to get to the part that most people are probably interested in, because this is a business. Can I make money? Absolutely. And it's based on this: teach 3 people to reach 3 people so that you build a team of collaborative entrepreneurs. So you start off by yourself. You're your own customer, your first customer. And as you share this with other people, you will find customers and you'll find people who want to join you. So when you have 3 people who join your team, what we call frontline, your personally sponsored people, and we teach those 3 people to reach 3 people, that group grows exponentially. So at the end of that, we have 39 entrepreneurs on our team who are each learning and doing the 500 points a month. So when you add all those points together, it's pretty magical. You don't have to worry about the rank. That's leadership ranks. They happen automatically. And with those 39 entrepreneurs doing that simple 500 points, just on the retail sales, your income would be approximately $1,300 US a month. And that's a lot of money in Canada right now, by the way, Madeline. So, and then if you go to the next level, Madeline, you talked about being gold very quickly. As those 39 teach 3, you move to the next level. Your income obviously is a lot more, and so on and so forth. So you can decide what you want in terms of income, and we'll show you how to get there. You still have to contact and invite people, educate them, and then ask them for a decision on whether they want to be consultants or customers, and then helping them launch their business. So it's not onerous. It's just doing having those right habits day after day so that you build a solid business. So we talked about retail profits. That's the first benefit that you get in terms of monetary reward. Nikken sends you the difference between the wholesale cost and the retail cost as your retail profit every month. That's what that last slide was about. But there's way more to this. The cash bonus. Who wants to explain the cash bonuses? How can we make extra money?
There are various contests by introducing several people. There's something called an entrepreneurial club and a Paragon Award. If you help 3 people reach that silver level, then you reach a gold, and there's $1,000 cash bonus, or I think it's an iPad, and I think the cash bonus is a lot better. You can buy your own iPad. So the cash bonuses have really been very nice. They're related to customer acquisition and mentoring new leaders. So it's just so nice when you're able to help others. As I mentioned, I didn't like downsizing. I like upsizing. So, and in hearing the stories that you did, and speaking as a nurse with 51 years of experience, I just want to mention this. All of these rewards and all of the benefits are based upon helping people take less medication, live independently, just what happened to both of your lives for not having chronic pain. For me, I had to wait until 16 years ago. I've always been pretty healthy. 2 years ago, 16 years into Nikken, I've had 2 joint replacements. I was able to be out of the hospital in 1 day, didn't have to go to physiotherapy. So a profound way of earning money and getting various rewards and trip incentives as well, purely by helping people to be healthier and also helping them to have an income. It's an absolute win-win situation.
Right, and the simplicity of it, if we follow the plan, these things happen, right? You'll get that Entrepreneur Club award by building and finding those 3 leaders, etc. So Michele, what do you like about all of these different incentives, these benefits and rewards?
Well, they're all amazing, Maggie, and anybody that is doing the business can qualify for any of it, depending, of course, on your rank advancement, like your leadership bonus. you can qualify for that once you reach the gold level. Definitely the reward points, it's awesome. It's very simple to do. It's just a matter of having that 500 points plus going through your own personal, as your own personal sales, and you will have reward points that will accumulate that you can purchase product. Whether for resale, for your own consumption, or whatever, you have a choice to do that. So it is very, very, it's cool.
Right. And the thing, sorry.
Just, that's cute. Cool.
Yeah.
It is cool.
Well, one of the things I appreciate about Nikken the most, I think, being a teacher for, I don't know how many years now, is the mentoring and coaching. We don't have to, figure this out ourselves. There's so much amazing mentoring and coaching. We have great events. We're all going to San Antonio in October, which is the North American Convention. There are trainings online, like this channel that you're on right now. There are about 15, I think, different live events every week, and then there's a library of recorded ones. So you never have to worry about even being able to contact your sponsor or your mentor, because everything's there for you. Obviously, our mentors are there for us as well, but so many tools, so much training. The websites, when you partner up, you get a beautiful hosted website, so that's your online shopping channel. You don't have to worry about that. You just personalize it, and Bob's your uncle. So it's really just, I think, the best business on the planet. I'm a little biased, as I said at the beginning, but we want people who have experienced the products to consider upgrading to at least a part-time entrepreneur, which is what I did for the first 3 years, so that I could help other people. That became the passion. Like, I can't keep this secret. This has been so profound for me. But what I realized too is that it's not just for people like us who had some challenge. We are attracting so many millennials now, the 20 and 30 somethings, because they are way smarter than I was at that age. They're much more educated about prevention, and these products are the best prevention plan on the planet. So we have a lot of young people who also don't want to work for the man. They want to be independent. They want to have their own business. They want to create community. They want to be part of something bigger than themselves. So they can start part-time while they're going to school, for instance. And many people keep this as a part-time business. Others, like myself, want to be a full-time career person in this and create the long-term income with the Nikken plan. So the choices are limitless. And we really encourage people to really, check the whole thing out and decide what's best for them, no matter what your age or your background. This is all something that anybody can learn if they have the passion for it. So any comments you want to make as we close the call, where our time is just about up? We've got 1 more minute. What would you like to say in closing, Madeline?
I think what I'd like to say, I mentioned it's 18 years later, and the shift towards being customer-centric and then attracting those who really want to be the part-time or the full-time entrepreneur, and the use of social media, handheld, this type of a forum. Many of us are over 60, and so the opportunity to be able to provide this type of an online, the prediction is that will be viral like Amazon.com. There's such a personal touch in being able to see with people, to be with people, to demonstrate the products. And so that one-on-one is still there. However, the business mechanism being automated the way that it is, we have basically a startup growth opportunity with a 41-year-old debt-free company. So I highly recommend who's ever listening to listen to this. And in the United States, we have a major healthcare crisis. Prevention is needed, and an economic crisis as well. So this is a huge opportunity, and I thank you for the opportunity to be able to share.
Well, thank you, Madeline. You've added so much, as you always do, with your wisdom and your huge heart and your vision for Nikken going forward. So I appreciate you. Michele, what would you like to add?
Maggie, you had mentioned about prevention, and while it was we were not in a good position when we first started with Nikken, we regained our health very, very quickly because of the philosophy and the products, for sure, and the wellness home. What I would like to add is you never know when adversity is going to hit. So if you are well and strong and healthy, what is your life force and how do you want to keep it that way so that you can go through life when adversity does hit? Because it does hit us all at some point in our life. And what is your life force? Can you come through that very strong and unwavered? I've had to deal with that through my career with Nikken, and it was because I was involved with Nikken that I come through on top. Had I been going spiraling down the way that I was, I don't know where I would be today.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even want to think about that. So even if you are strong and healthy, Nikken is for you too.
Yes, and may you never know what you prevented, right? I like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We are changing the world of healthcare to self-care, and we're also changing the world of business. I believe that the world will change as business becomes more dynamic, more collaborative, more community-based. So I think we're really onto something here, and we invite anybody who's watching to please check us out completely, get with the person who invited you, and see if this is a fit for you. I can't see how it wouldn't be, but as I said, I'm a little biased. So I want to thank everybody who's on the call today, the guests, as well as my wonderful team of collaborative entrepreneurs for this business conversation today. Thank you, and we'll catch you on the Nikken Highway.
Good night.
Okay.